Good afternoon, participants. I welcome you all to session 3 of day 5 of this faculty development program on buried energy for conservation and energy management. Friends, today we have amongst us a great stalwart in technical education and a very well-known personality as our chief guest, Dr. Pratapsinh Desai, sir. Dr. Pratapsinh Kakasaheb Desai, sir, completed his PhD from Shivaji University, Kolhapur. He has completed master's degree in mechanical engineering and masters of business administration. He is son of Shri Krantivir Kakasaheb Desai, sir, the most sought freedom fighter. Desai family rendered 5 freedom fighters to nation, and he has raised with strong values and principles. He has a prominent background of social reforms, patriotism, and education. Dr. Pratapsinh Desai sir is working on design and development of femur bone prosthesis research. He delivered keynote address in India and abroad in conferences, especially his deliberation on opulent Indian education and its history is highly revered. He has numerous national and international research papers to his credit. Sir has actively participated as member of All India Federation of Polytechnic Teachers Association. During his tenure in various organizations, he was instrumental in advocating the issue of granting pay band 4 to all engineering and polytechnic colleges. Currently, he is working on the salaries to be paid by state government to self-finance engineering institutes. He is a member of various committees and task teams constituted by Government of Maharashtra. Sir attended and participated as member of Indian delegation at various international meets such as World Engineering Education Forum, International Federation of Engineering Education Societies, Global Engineering Deans Council in countries like USA, Canada, England, France, Germany, Argentina, Brazil, China, Japan, Dubai, Australia, and Korea. Dr. Pratapsinh Desai sir is youngest ever president of prestigious organization ISTE in New Delhi, past vice president of ISTE New Delhi, and ISTE Executive Council member for 2 terms. He is member representing India in Global Deans Council. He is chairman, Indian Engineering Deans Council, member of Governing Council Engineering Staff College of India. He is council member of All India Council of Technical Education, member of Advisory Committee for Overall Curriculum Development Cell, IIT New Delhi. He is convener, Maharashtra State Technical Teachers Association. He is president of Moni Vidyapit Staff Association. He was invited by Africa Asia Scholars Global Network, England, signatory to United Nations Global Compact and member of European Alliance for Innovation, to deliver a keynote address at the joint program of Kent University, University of Greenwich, University of Creative Arts, and Christchurch, hosted in December 2016. He was invited to deliver special address at University of Ambo, Ethiopia. He has visited 35 prominent universities in world to study technical education scenario around the world, addressed conference in diversity in technical education in Chicago, USA. Visited 30 countries to study the technical education scenario around the globe. He is strategic partner, FEMA Fest, an international fest of films, music, and arts to be conducted at IIT Delhi. He has initiated ISTE AICT faculty development programs and received grant worth 4.5 crores this year. Now, that was a very exhaustive profile, but we are glad that you are with us as an expert speaker. On behalf of BNB Institute of Technology, organizing committee of this faculty development program, and all the participants, I welcome you, sir. I request you to enlighten us with your experience and knowledge, sir. Please, sir. Sir, your mic is muted, sir.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone present over here. Let me make use of this opportunity to thank the organizers and especially R.D. Patel, who is my colleague in the National Executive Council of Indian Society for Technical Education, New Delhi, for inviting me on the occasion of the valedictory function and to deliver a speech, my express myself on a specific topic like energy. So I'm very much thankful to you, R.D. Patel sir. Though it was a day of Ganesh Chaturthi today, you all know that it's a big festival in Maharashtra. It started today. So I was trying to tell him that it may not be possible for me today, but he insisted, sir, you have to come. And yes, I couldn't say no to him because when he himself is keeping engage him for the betterment of the fraternity, teaching fraternity, then it becomes my responsibility automatically. Being at the helm of the organization which works for the upliftment and upskilling the teachers. And then I readily said yes to him. Though the topic is not a domain because I'm not an electrical engineer. I'm not working in any generation company. But still, I have traveled a lot around the globe. And my nature is curious. I always keep on observing the things, learning something from somewhere, and trying always to correlate the things with my own nation. So, my dear friends, we all know that, and it's always being talked about the quantum of the economy of this nation. Many of you may not be aware because since the last many years we are listening that yes, we are emerging country, our economy is growing, and we are the fourth largest economy in the world after the US, UK, and China. A few months back, rather, it's a latest this thing of figures. I just had a look at the economic survey of the world, and I came to know that our position has dropped down to number 6. Number 1, UK is leading the tally, having economy of 21 trillion US dollars. China is number 2, and Chinese economy is 13.4 trillion US dollars. So see the gap between them. It's 13.4 and 21. Japan, again drastically down, is 4.97, approximately 5 trillions economy. Germany has jumped 2 steps up, and Germany has acquired 4th position now, and their economy is of the size of 4 trillion US dollars. UK is 2.64 trillion US dollars, and India, we are just at 2.59. And we are thinking that we will be the major economies in the world. And yes, we are aspiring to go to that position, at least number 3, because the gap between number 2 and us is huge. Because China is 13.4 and we are 2.5, and it doesn't mean that we cannot attain that target. Yes, we have a potential to be number 1 in the world. Definitely we have that. But the situation today is quite critical. Because the development of the economy and the size of the economy is totally dependent upon the consumption power of the population. When we look at the economic pyramid of the world, top 20% people are having access or enjoying the benefits or managing the 85% of the economy of the world. Almost 400 crore population have earning of just $2 a day. 80% of the bottom of the pyramid has access or can, they are playing in a very small crunch of just 15% of the economy. And we are there in that 15%, that 80%. Unless we develop, unless we focus to transform those people, that class, those masses, to cross that line and participate in the development of the economy, then and only then this is possible. My dear friends, more than 90% of the Indian population does not have access to clean water. Does not have access to the clean water. More, the limitations of the healthcare system in our country were exposed at the time in the time of the pandemic. We all have seen thousands and lakhs of the people were not getting beds. Thousands have lost their lives because of lack of oxygen, non-availability of the oxygen. So that is the economic situation. Because when country is said to be a developed one, just by having a big size economy doesn't mean that country is developed and country is contented. It is usually, to me, because I am a social worker. I am a teacher. I work with the society. I know my barometer, and many of the economists may agree with that. It will be decided that the facilities of the healthcare facilities, the social balance, contention level, and these are the parameters where the well-being of the population is usually measured. So, my dear friends, when we think of expanding our economy, you have to think about the 80% of the population which is contributing little to the development. Yes, they are contributing, but they are not getting benefited by that, and because of that, they are not growing. Unless the population is growing, unless the consumption pattern of the people, maximum people, more and more people changes, their consumption power increases, then and only then economy will expand. Economy will not expand by just 20, some 15 or 17% of the people. So we have to focus on that population, and therefore, I feel, see, one simple this thing is the energy consumption or the power per capita power consumption is one of the indicator which decides the status of the economy of the country. To name a few countries, Russia is leading with per capita power consumption, electricity consumption. Power consumption is different and electricity consumption is different. So electricity consumption of Russia is 6,900 kilowatt hours. It's per capita. That is 6,900 units. Germany is at the number 2, 6,800 units. UK is at number 3, 4,900 units. China, surprisingly, same figure, 4,900 units. And you know what is the per capita electricity consumption of an Indian population? The per capita electricity consumption of Indian population is just 1,208 units. 1,208 kilowatt per hours. When it comes to power consumption, this was about the electricity consumption, power consumption. Then it is usually measured in joules. China is leading a tally with 145.4 joules. US is 87.8 and we are at 31.98. Why it is so? Because unless this consumption is increased, we just, because electricity or a power is just not for making the comfort and for just live a luxury life. It's a means of production. It's one of the very important factor of the production. But still we are very much lacking, and that is majority because there are three factors, very important factors in this. One is the affordability of the power or the electricity, reliability of the electrical energy, and the accessibility of the electrical energy. When it comes to the affordability, we all know that the average rate per unit rate of electricity in India, it varies from 8 rupees to 13-14 rupees, which is the highest in the world, I can say. So that is the electricity is, yes, it may be accessible but may not be affordable. We are still in the era where in the elections, the political parties, they make an announcement of providing free electricity. So giving a free electricity is attraction to the people. Means it's not when it becomes attraction. It becomes attraction when it is non-affordable or non-accessible. So one is the affordability, another is the reliability. See, a few years back, I don't know now Maharashtra is well settled about or almost settled. Few years back I was talking about we have faced a power shortage of 18 hours a day. It was the situation everywhere in the country. Maybe the time period might have been different. But 16 hours, 18 hours power shortage till today, we cannot provide uninterrupted power supply in a daytime to agriculture units or the irrigation pumps I'm talking about. Whenever because agriculture, we say that we are our economy is the agriculture economy. The India is a agriculturist country. ये farmers की country है. But we all know that watering a plant, watering a crop is an important thing in the entire agriculture this thing. But can he water a plant in a daytime? This situation is not there. We have given them a slots. Few slots are in the day, few slots in the night, midnight, or any time. That means it's not what I was talking about, the reliability. And when it will go and when will it will come, one cannot predict. I think I was attending yes, my last executive council meeting I was doing online in Delhi. I was sitting in the Delhi. Delhi is the capital of this nation. We all know that. And I was supposed to address my meeting, chair my meeting, sitting in my office. Unfortunately, my meeting was at 3 o'clock, I think. And at 11 o'clock, power supply was totally disturbed. We waited for 2-3 hours and rushed to another area, ISTE. And from ISTE, we conducted a meeting. If this is the situation of the capital of this nation, then we just can imagine how maybe the situation in the rest part of the country or in the villages. So this is the reliable. We just can reliable about the reliability. We're not sure. We are not 100%. I'm not blaming. I'm not saying. I'm not claiming that everything is dark. It is not reliable. Yes, we are doing it to our majority of the time we do good. But these are the landmarks. And the final point is accessibility. I was just going through one of the surveys, and Niti Aayog says that 94% of the households of this country have been electrified. That is the figure of Niti Aayog. But one of the very reputed organizations in this country have conducted a survey, and they says that according to Niti Aayog, only 6% villages households does not have electricity. But one of the very reputed organizations has conducted a survey, and it says that almost 13% of the villages, 13% area of this country, 13% of the households does not have the access to the electricity. Having affordability, then reliability and accessibility is just lightning I'm talking about. Forget about the industrial supply. This is just 13% of the household. Electricity is not accessible to them. And we are in the 21st century, and we are dreaming that we will be the major economies or the major economic player in the economy of the global economy. So that is this thing, and the major role in this, because electricity generation industry of this country is one of the major industries. It's one of the largest this thing. energy sector is one of the largest sector in India itself. But the situation today, I have told you that almost 13% of the household does not have access to this thing. As far as the generation is concerned, we are fifth largest in the world. As far as the generation, number of units generated, we are largest in the world. When it comes to the consumption, we are number 6. Number 6 is a good position, we can say that. But because of the huge population of almost 1.4 billion, the per capita drops down. Though we are number 6 in the consumption, because of the population, our per capita consumption is very low to the level of just 1,208 kilowatt hour, that is 1,208 units per person. Our consumption, coming to the total consumption, we consume only 4% of the global consumption. If 100 megawatt is being generated across the world, we are consuming only 4 megawatts. So that is the situation. When this is the situation, how the industry will develop? Because I think there is no industry, there is no area which is contributing to the economy runs without the electricity or runs without the power. So power is the soul of that. We can say that it's as like a capital. It is said that it's a blood of a business, but it's a soul. Generator, or we can say it acts as a heart. That pumps the money, that pumps the capital through the business. So with this infra, I think a lot of things we need a lot of progress to be done in this area. As far as the generation mix is concerned, almost 52 to 54% of the electricity is generated. It's a thermal power stations. So there are two types of thermal power stations. You know that one is oil-fired power station, another is coal-fired power stations. We are number 1, number 2 in the manufacturing of the excavation of the coal, but the quality of the coal in this country is very poor. So anthracite is supposed to be the best coal, but we are number 3 type of coal we get in India, and we burn that coal and generate almost 38% of the total electricity. Number 2 is oil. So oil and coal together, almost 52 to 54% of the total power is generated by burning these fuels. And we all know that Paris Protocol, and all countries, we are the party to that, and we are one of the important countries who care for the atmosphere. And we have limited ourselves to limit the emission of the carbon. And we all know that burning the fossil fuel will add to the carbon emission. And therefore, we have to reduce it down. This use has to be reduced. By 2040, it is said that we will be left with very little sources of these fuels. As far as oil is concerned, we are largely dependent on other countries like Gulf and African countries majority. 90% our dependency to the extent of the 90%. Our storage capacity of the oil today is almost 40,000 million barrels. 400 million dollars. And this reserve is sufficient to meet the need of just 8 days. 8 to 10 days. If all oil supply to this country is cut, on these deposits, we can survive for 8 to 10 days. It needs to be doubled or tripled. And again, we all know that we are very much lacking in this technology of deposition and storing the oil. We are number 1 importer of the oil, and number 2 in the world I talk about refiners of the oil. So number 1 exporter and number 2 refiner. So that much of the consumption of the and dependency in this sector is to the extent of 90%. It is more dangerous. So government is now shifting a focus from oil to natural gases. Again, our situation as far as the natural gas is concerned is more better than the oil. So government is shifting the focus towards the natural gases. So this all these things we are doing, but area of the concern is almost 50%, more than 50% of the electricity or the power is generated through these sources. My dear friends, as far as other sources are concerned, hydel power station to the extent of 12% we generate. Nuclear power station just 1.2% or something like that. We have a future in the renewable energy sources where today we are contributing to the extent of 19 to 22%. So in the renewable energy sources like solar, wind, and tidal, and tidal is very less, but solar and wind, yes, we have a potential, and our government, this government has set a decent target of increasing the contribution of these non-renewable energy sources into the power generation to the extent of 50% by 2030. So in next 7 to 8 years, and it has increased in the past. Last 7-8 years, if you look into the figures of that, yes, we were at 8%. Today we have crossed 20%. And we have a huge potential also. Solar potential, a potential of generating solar power in this country is to the extent of 750 gigawatts. So this much, because we have a sunlight across the country throughout the year, almost throughout the year. By use of photovoltaic cells, this technology is again we are getting good quality products now. This technology is going ahead. Much new innovations has come, and because of that, the cost of the generation of solar generation is reducing. I will give you one. 3 years back, I installed a 4 kilowatt capacity solar rooftop on my house, and it costed around at that time some 75,000 to 80,000 per kilowatt. So I spent around 3 lakhs, more than 3 lakhs rupees for 4 kilowatt capacity solar rooftop plant. And today the cost has come down to the extent of 48 to 50,000. And the quality of the solar panels is better than that. So new innovations are coming. The production is scaling up and cost is reducing. It is said that this will be the cheapest source of energy, and that in another next 30 to 40 years, the cost of electricity, if today it is on average, we consider it to be some 8 to 10 rupees today. With today's benchmark, we can generate it at the cost of rupees 1 per unit per kilowatt hour. If electricity is in abundant and that too at the cheaper cost, the entire picture will change. That will boost, that will make our economy run. And yes, this is the potential source, because 750 gigawatt capacity potential we are having. How much we are generating today? We are generating 86 gigawatt. Just 86 gigawatt, that is just 11% of the potential. Oh, 11% of the available potential where we are generating, harnessing the solar energy. There is a huge scope in the solar sector. At the same time, as far as the wind energy is concerned, the potential to generate wind energy is 45,000 megawatt. I'm talking about the entire country. Today we are generating 8,700 megawatt, and that comes out to be 19%. So there is a huge scope for this, and Karnataka, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana, these are the states, they are doing exceptionally good in this particular area. So, my dear friends, unless we shift our focus of generation, even research, there is a huge scope. Because I don't think I have not come across any company who is producing PV cells in India. Even the solar manufacturing companies in India, they are importing their PV cells from abroad, from a country like China and Taiwan. So a lot of research is to be done in this country on the solar, because that is the area where we have a huge potential, and we have a chance to accelerate our this thing uh, economy. Government, I told you that government is aiming to increase the share of natural gas uh, to the extent of 15% and reduce the dependency on the oil. It is said that by 2030, American Society of Automotive Engineers has predicted that more than 70% of the cars will be electrical and autonomous. When it comes to the electrical cars, today also there are in India few companies have launched, like Tata's also have launched, Tesla has launched many, and two-wheelers, in the two-wheeler market there are many brands, they are into the market. The major problem today in India is, and everywhere it is, the I was reading the literature about, I think Tata Nixon has come with this thing, and it can run some 300 or some kilometers on a single charge. So the mobility of the vehicle will be limited with this. Yes, for two-wheelers it is okay. If you get a battery that can store the energy, that will be capable of driving that vehicle for 50 kilometers, 30 kilometers, that is okay. For two-wheeler it is all right. But for four-wheelers, this capacity is to be increased, and a lot of work is being done in the country like Finland and Sweden in battery storage engineering. I came across one article which talks about a storage unit of almost 320 megawatts. I'm talking about such huge storing devices are being developed now. The car manufacturing companies are focusing on enhancing the battery capacity to make the vehicle run to 800 to 1000 kilometers. So that will bring a revolution into the automobile sector. And this area, that is battery or electricity or generation technology, is gaining importance now. So once you can store the energy, more energy for more amount of, because problem with the energy is the storing. Once you can store the energy, then country like India will have a tremendous potential to grow, because we have a huge sources of generating the energy like solar and wind, and that will definitely take our country. Yes, we can definitely bypass the other nations on these grounds, because these are the God-given gifts to us. And if we make use of that, that definitely will flourish. And if we don't, then history will not forgive us. So, my dear friends, we have to focus on that. As when I was again I came across the literature of CO2 emission and on that. Yes, our country is focused. Initially, it's in the beginning of my speech, I told you that we are one of the very important countries on the global scenario who cares for the sustainability of the planet Earth. Because sustainability is very important. Stephen Hawkins, uh, before his demise, 2 years prior to that, he said, "This planet Earth, if we continues to live like this planet Earth has a capacity or will have a life or can bear this load for another 300 to 400 years. And we have to seriously think, if at all we want to survive the species of the mankind, we have to think of establishing our colonies into the space or our colonies in some another planet." So that he said at that time. And at that time, he also quoted that if the research in this field continues with the same pace, it will take more than 200-250 years for us to establish the first colony, a real colony outside the planet. My dear friends, a simple solution we have If we can work together, join hands together, and work for the betterment, for the sustainability of the planet, definitely it will be the huge contribution to the mankind. It is as far as the CO2 emission of our country is concerned. See, per capita CO2 emission of our country just 1.6 tons, and global average is 4.4 tons. So we have a scope. We are lacking. I think it's a good figure. I think. So, and again we are trying to shift our focus from use of oils and coal and all fossil fuels. That will definitely help in reducing this thing. The share of our country in the global CO2 emission is just 6.4%. And still we are working on that, and I think it's a good sign. So unless now we have to focus, as we are already focusing, we have to focus and develop these sources. Because unless we do that, it is said that the energy demand of this country with this pace of development will be doubled by 2040. So by 2040, our energy consumption will be doubled. It will be 2000 400 to 2500 units. So for that we need more generation capacity. It is said that by 2050, India will have 1 billion air conditioners. 1 billion air conditioners. See how much energy it will require. And solar is the best source we can directly use, because the research is being made directly on the solar. You can fix up the panels in the daytime and your AC will work on that. So such type of things are being developed, and we have to. I think we have to. We just cannot be dependent on others for new things to come. New things to come. I remember one one quote by Kumar Viswas. He says that द्वंद्व कहां तक खेला जाए, द्वंद्व कहां तक खेला जाए, युद्ध जहां कहां तक टाला जाए. मतलब ये है कि अभी इफ यू डोंट वांट टू फाइट, जस्ट अ द्वंद्व, मतलब व्हाट वी डू विद द चाइना, लाइक दैट, कि द्वंद्व कहां तक खेला जाए, युद्ध कहां तक टाला जाए. तू भी राणा का वंशज है, फेंक जहां तक भाला जाए. You are also warriors, you are also researchers, you have that quality in you that has been proved in the past since thousands of years, that we are leaders, we were leaders in the development of the technology. That factor we have, that attitude, that element of going for a research and coming up with the new things we have, but we are avoiding to go for it, maybe because of many reasons. This is not a forum to talk on that. But unless we do that, we just cannot avoid this fight. We have to enter into that, and we must be the leader at least in these fields, because these areas, the non-renewable source energy, especially solar and all, going to change the entire paradigm. Is going to transform our lives. See, when you get electricity at a rate of 1 rupee per unit, all problems will be solved. There will be no part in this country. I was talking about the access of clean water. More than 90% of the people does not have it. You will get a clean and cheap water at the rate of just 5 paisa per liter, because desalination will be very cheaper, because abundant and cheap availability of the electricity. Many things will be made simpler when we harness energy from this thing, solar source. Today, our total generation capacity is almost around 366 gigawatt. 366 gigawatt, and today our solar contribution to that is 86 gigawatt. Our target by 2030, I told you, as government has established a target of achieving that, or taking this generation to the level of 175 gigawatt by 2022, and 50% of the total electricity generated in this country will be through non-conventional by 2040. That's the ambitious target. See, just by making a slogan, it will not happen. Prime Minister, he's giving a directions to us. Now it becomes our responsibility. We are technocrats. We are industry people. We are teachers. We are engineers. And engineers have potential to change the world. The time has come to change the world. And I think achieving this target is not at all a challenge for us. My dear friends, there are the areas like I was talking about the storage technology, even solar manufacturing. I talked about that 350 megawatt capacity storage unit. That's a nuclear based this thing, a nuclear reactor or some technology. Some I do not know about the technology, but the name it is related with this thing. So that is the area where I think we can definitely contribute to the nation development, and definitely on the grounds of the electricity we can beat the rest of the world. At least we can compete with the rest of the world. And being a teacher, being the many of you maybe people from the industry, many of you may be student, take this as agenda for a life, because this is the generation which has to work for on this. And if one generation dedicatedly works on that, definitely our future is going to be very bright. Let us join hands together. Let us see. I remember a mythological story that Sri Krishna lifted a Govardhan Parvat on his little finger. He was one Lord Sri Krishna. When we all comes together, join our hands, forget about Govardhana Parvat, we can lift the planet Earth. That's the power. That's the power in our togetherness, our working together. And definitely we all will be with you in all such endeavors. I once again congratulate the organizers for conducting such a beautiful workshop on a very beautiful area and providing him an opportunity to talk on this subject. Though I'm not a domain expert because it's not my area. Whatever I have learned, whatever I have observed, whatever I have read, on the basis of that, I have tried to contribute to this conference to my to little extent. Thank you once again. Jai Hind.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Yes, Anurag, please.
Thank you, Dr. Pratapsinh K Desai, sir. On behalf of BNB Institute of Technology, the organizing team and the participants, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to you, sir, for accepting our invitation and obliging. Sir, we know today it is a big festive day, a very pious day, and you have taken time out for us to share your views on energy scenario in India. So we thank you for that, sir. Your views have really motivated us to contemplate where we stand in the world and what needs to be done to conserve energy and manage it. So once again, on behalf of BNB Institute of Technology, the organizing team of this faculty development program and all the participants, I thank you, sir, for sharing your valuable experience and knowledge. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So I request you to stay tuned as we are starting with our valedictory function, sir.
Okay.
Adi Patel, sir, please. Yes, Makwana, sir. Good evening, sir. Sir, am I audible?
Could you hear me?
Yes, sir. We are able to hear you, sir.
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening, Makwana, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Anurag, please continue. I think we can call for some feedback from the participants.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. With your permission, sir, I request your permission to start with the valedictory function, sir.
Yes, we can start, sir.
A very good evening to you, to everyone present here today. Adi Patel, sir, your mic. A very good evening to everyone present here today. I welcome you all to this valedictory session of this 1-week online FDP on buried energy for conservation and energy management. Let me start by welcoming the dignitaries present here today. Dr. Pratapsinh K Desai, sir, chief guest of this valedictory function, president of ISTE, New Delhi. Principal BBIT, Dr. K.M. Makwana, sir. He is the guiding force behind all of us, which keeps us motivating to organize such programs. Dr. Adi Patel, sir, coordinator of the Faculty Development Program and head of Mechanical Engineering Department, BBIT, the brain and energy behind this program. To all the organizing committee members, invited guests, and participants. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all in this valedictory session of this Faculty Development Program. I must say that it has been hectic 5 days of learning, and we all have gained something out of it. The function of a prayer is not to influence God, but rather to change the nature of the one who prays. So I request all of you to close your eyes, relax your minds, and let us join together in this prayer. Amit sir, can you play the audio? Only the visual is there. Can you play the audio? Thank you, Amit sir. May I now request Dr. R.D. Patel sir, coordinator of this faculty development program, for his concluding remarks. Please, sir.
Yes, sir. Good evening, all and one. Respected Pratapsinh Desai, sir, President of ISTE, New Delhi, Dr. K.M. Makwana, sir, the Principal of BBIT, my team members, Dr. Anurag, sir, Amit, sir, Joseph Soni, sir, V.K. Modi, sir, Mihir Patel, sir, Aarti Pamnani, ma'am, and other dignitaries, and my dear participants, friend from the different parts of India. Today, we are at the verge of concluding 5 days AICT Atal training program on buried energy for conservation and energy management. At this occasion, I, Dr. R.D. Patel, Head of Mechanical Department and Coordinator of this Atal FDP, really feel privileged to welcome our Chief Guest, Dr. Pratapsinh Desai, sir, who is the President of ISTE Delhi. There are no words to introduce him in front of engineering fraternity, in much name is pronounced in engineering field. I welcome you, sir, on behalf of our team. We have with us Dr. K.M. Makwana, sir. He is the principal of BBIT, Vallabh Vidyanagar, without whose supports and guidance of FDP could not be happened in way it could. I welcome you, sir. We all are aware of exhaustion of fossil fuels due to the overuses and mismanagement of fossil fuels. As a technocrat, we are trying to switch toward the renewable energy so we can preserve the sufficient energy for the future. Buried energy is one of the sources which is bit less discussed and studied, but there is a huge amount of energy available at the buried energy in Earth. In today's my session, I explain in details what is the buried energy and what is the advantage of this buried energy. During this FDP, we discussed the different aspects of energy conservation and energy management along with the buried energy as a source. Experts from IITs, NITs, TERI, and other government institutes and industries, they deliver their expertise in a variety of areas like potential energy generation and energy use strategies for sustainable growth, bioenergy and biofuels, solar thermal system for sustainable energy, hydrogen as a secondary fuel, neurologist programming, research and development on solar desalination system, greenhouse sustainable technology for rural application, for energy conservation, and many more. The distinguished speakers, Dr. Pratham Arora, Dr. Sachin Parikh sir, Nitin Lavteshwar sir, Dr. K. Srinivasan Reddy sir, Dr. Devdas Lata sir, Dr. Samsa Emmanuel, Dr. Hitesh Panchal sir, Dr. Ragesh Kapadia, Dr. P.V. Ramanna, Dr. Ronak Shah, Dr. J.N. Tiwari, and Sabnam Basi have shared their research and many case studies with participants. The sessions are very interactive, informative, inspiring, and encouraging. We could reach to 157 successful registration from every corner of the India. That includes the many states, Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Delhi, and Gujarat also. Once again, I thank all the participants for showing faith in us and remaining present even on the day of the festival today. Thank you all for making this FDP a grand success. Jai Vidyanagar, Jai Hind. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. R.D. Patel, sir. I now request Chief Guest of our valedictory function, Dr. Pratapsinh K Desai, sir, to share a few words of motivation to the participants. Please, sir. Sir, your mic, sir. Mic.
Honorable Makwana, sir, the principal of this institution, and my colleague in the National Executive Council of ISTE New Delhi. I forgot to acknowledge him at the time of my keynote because I was not aware whether sir is there or not. So sorry for that, sir. R.D. Patel, other participants, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. It's indeed a pleasurous moment that all of you have participated in this Atal FDP on the very novel and apt and appropriate topic, which is related to the energy, which is the future of the world. This is just I heard from R.D. Patel that resource persons were eminent people there. They were from industry as well as from IITs and the reputed organizations who had a fantastic exposure to the field. I am sure they have shared their knowledge and words of wisdom with you all. It is said that there is a quote in Marathi. Kelyane desha athana sabet sanchar sajjan sangat. Meaning, if you move around, so deshathan is travel, and traveling it imparts knowledge. You observe a lot many things, you experience a lot many things, you analyze, you get a time to analyze a lot many things, and that increases the level of your knowledge. Sajjana Sangat, the company of a good people. So company of a good people, definitely, because if you are in the negative minded people, they will drain your energy out. And if you are in a good company, that company will enlighten the path, future path of your life. So you should always be in the company of a good people, positive-minded people. The people, those who can show something, tell you something new, those who can talk, because but talk about your drawbacks also. It is said that nowadays people say good to bad also. Saying good for bad qualities, it's very easy. It doesn't need anything. It's just puppeting, luring the person. Saying good to good, saying good to good, it needs a good heart. Jealous people, the hatred person will not talk good about, though he sees the good things, he will not talk good about it. So saying good to good is a good quality that one should have. And making person realize saying bad to bad, it's a big quality. It needs a big heart. And because many people, even if we see that, yes, this is something wrong, it should not happen, we don't talk. We don't talk about this. And that is why the entire system is disturbing. So these qualities you will get in the good company of a good people. Saveta Sanchar, meaning that you have to be in the meetings, you must listen to the people. And through listening and through peer learning, you enrich yourself. So these type of things you get in the FDPs. Here you unfortunately it's on the virtual mode, but still I think yes, peer learning, get lot many peers, and you learn together. You get introduced with the others. So when it is in the physical mode, it's altogether different thing. Classroom learning or the this learning is just 15%, 85% is experiential, sharing, talking, walking. That makes a thing. So, my dear friends, I'm very happy that you people have given an excellent response for this particular FDP. Definitely, there is an addition. The horizon of your knowledge or the frontier of your knowledge is expanded. Make use of this for the betterment of the society, for the betterment of the mankind. And I'm sure definitely you will do this. With this, I wish you all the best in all your endeavors. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. That was very well said and precisely and beautifully presented, sir. We will remember this for life. Thank you for those words, sir. Thank you. Dear participants, it's time for feedback now. I would request participants who wish to give their feedback regarding the program to raise their hands in the Microsoft Teams, and we will unmute them so that they can share their views. And we will take three to four views depending upon how much time we have. So I request participants to raise their hands. Amit sir, there is Samir Rawal sir, if you can unmute him. As Neerav Gajjar sir, you can unmute him. So one by one, I would request. First, I would request Neerav Gajjar sir to share his feedback.
Good evening, everyone. This is Neerav Gajjar, lecturer in Civil Engineering Department, Government Polytechnic, Kheda. First of all, I would like to congratulate the entire BBIT FDP team for arranging such a wonderful and informative faculty development program. I was really impressed with the selection of speakers for the FDP. All eminent speakers from reputed institutes and industries were invited to share their valuable experience, research, and knowledge. Overall, all the sessions were very nice, but I personally enjoyed a lot the session of Dr. Shamsha Emmanuel on neuro-linguistic programming. Specifically, her slides were very catchy as it was very nicely designed with cartoons and quotes. This FDP was categorized under an interdisciplinary category. Many of the sessions had covered portions of mechanical engineering, but there were many topics such as sustainable development, carbon emission footprint, bioenergy, greenhouse, energy conservation, green buildings, etc., that I specifically had keen interest and enjoyed listening a lot. one thing I would like to point out is that though the FDP was very well organized and conducted in an online mode, I think that we could have relished and stayed more focused if it was on an offline mode. See, except for today, we took our online training from our colleges, and though our teaching load was adjusted, there was always some or the other work that we had to be involved in between. So I think that either online training from home or offline training would be the best. So overall, the FDP was conducted in an excellent manner. I once again congratulate the entire BBIT FDP team for their sincere efforts for organizing this FDP. I also wish and request the BBIT team to organize more of such FDPs in future. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nirav Gajjar sir, for your great words, your motivating words. I request Samir Rawal sir to give us feedback.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir, you are audible. Yes, sir.
Okay. Good evening to Honorable President, sir, Principal, sir, Head of the Department, and entire organizing team. So first of all, I am thankful to BBIT family for giving me an opportunity to share my words. And I feel that giving feedback amid you people is something like a big talk with a small mouth. Secondly, on behalf of the all government faculties in FDP, I am thankful to our head office, Commissioner of Technical Education, for permitting us to join such a brilliant program. I think the selection of the FDP title, Body Energy for Conservation and Energy Management, is perfectly meeting the need of an hour and extremely pertinent to certain government ambitious programs like Atmanirbhar Bharat if we really digest the concept. To address the title, many renowned personalities from the different premier institutes were called as a resource person, which shows the BBIT's strong linkages and affiliation with such leading research institutes. Eminent speakers covered the contents from the scratch, right from the energy generation, extraction, distribution, usage, storage, emission management, waste management, H2 as an alternative fuel, greenhouse, green building, biomass, biofuel, solar energy, and lot more. But all the steps were leading to the common peak, and that common peak is nothing but the sustainable development. So, in one sentence, don't grow at the cost of next generations. I like the Mahatma Gandhi's quote true in one of the presentation. Rich should live as simply as possible so that poor can simply live. Last but not least, session of Dr. Desai sir, who revealed the energy scenario in India was outstanding without slides. He focused affordability, reliability, and accessibility. So personally, I would rate this FDP best amongst all the training programs at polytechnic level I have undergone during my 10 years of journey in knowledge field. Generally, FDPs intend to facilitate upgradation of the knowledge and skill which this FDP has made and fulfilled in true sense. I congratulate entire BBIT organizing committee once again, including coordinator Shri R.D. Patel sir, Anurag sir, Raval sir, Gundale sir, Soni sir, Aarti ma'am, Modi sir, and Mihir Patel sir, and one and all, I think I forgot to acknowledge, but this was wonderful event, sir. We look forward to next such events in your organization. And I assure you that whatever we have gained during these 5 days, I will try my level best to transfer it to students. Thanking you once again.
Thanks a lot, Samir sir, for your motivating words. We have time for one more feedback. I would request Sham Kambojja, sir, to give his views.
Yeah, am I audible, sir?
Yes, Sham, you're audible.
Yeah. So, good evening, everyone. Dr. Pratapsinh Desai, sir, our principal, Dr. K. Makwana, sir, R.D. Patel, sir, Anurag, sir, and all the organizing committee members. This is Dr. Shyam Kambojja from BNB Institute of Technology. First of all, I congratulate the organizing team for successfully organizing this online Atal FDP during this tenure. And the topic and the selection of these speakers was very good, and it is really helpful to understand the current energy crisis and what can be done in terms of academic research to solve possibly this crisis. As we know that under the dynamic leadership of our principal, Dr. K. Makwana sir, we are organizing 2 to 3 training programs every year. So I hope that this will be one more in that list, and I hope that we all are surely benefited. And I again congratulate everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Shyam Kamburja, for your kind words. Thank you, sir. Moving ahead, may I now request Principal, BNB Institute of Technology, Dr. K.M. Makwana, sir, to give his presidential remarks. Please, sir.
Respected Pratapsinh Desai, sir, President of ISTE New Delhi, Dr. R.D. Patel, Coordinator and Head of Mechanical Engineering Department, BBIT, and also National Executive Council member of ISTE, organizing team of this STTP, and participants. Friends, as far as the energy is concerned, 1.5 decade ago, we have established the Energy Conservation Laboratory in our institute. And today, we are a energy JEDA, Gujarat Energy Development Agency approved energy audit agency. BBIT is an approved energy audit agency. We are conducting energy audit and energy awareness seminars throughout the Gujarat state. And now, after 1.5 decades, we have a team who has done something in the field of energy. Every year, almost every year, one STTP related to energy. Either it is energy conservation and management, buried energy, or renewable energy. We are organizing one seminar, one STTP on such a energy related topics. Those who are in the organizing team all have coordinated one STTP at least, and all kind of the STTP are AICT supported, Atal FDP, ISTE self-finance STTP, or say ISTE supported activity, GUJCO supported energy awareness programs. So everything is organized, and we have a very good young team who is doing all these things. Friends, one tool I would like to suggest, and that is ISTE. All these people are active in ISTE. ISTE is a platform through which you can groom yourself. At state level, we were working during last year, up to last year at the state level, but now we can do it on national level also. Every member is active in ISTE in our team. And this is the result that everyone has coordinated one or two activities, such activities, national level STTPs also. I hope that all the participants should have been a member of ISTE, and all the institutes. Your institute must be a member of ISTE. Institute membership you should have. In last 1 year, we have make few institute the institute member of ISTE. I hope that if you want any support from ISTE to organize such kind of the STTPs, we are available here. Even R.D. Patel is also a National Executive Council member. He can guide you. Shyam Kamburja has also organized 2 STTP in last 2-3 years. So I hope that you will use that platform of ISTE, groom yourself, and come forward. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for those motivating words, sir. It's time for a group photo session, right? A virtual group photo session. So I would request all the participants, those who can, to switch on their camera so that we can have a virtual group photo. I would request Amit sir to take a screenshot. Yes, Amit sir, if you have taken the screenshot, then please let us know.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
As we come close to our valedictory ceremony, right, I invite Professor Joseph Soni sir to propose a vote of thanks.
Today's chief guest, respected PK Desai sir, president of today's function, Dr. K. Makwana sir, teachers, and my dear participants. I have been assigned the task of presenting before you vote of thanks. So on behalf of BNB Institute of Technology and the organizing team, I take this opportunity to thank all our distinguished speakers from IITs, NITs, and other prestigious institutes and colleges who had accepted our invitation. They have really enlightened us with their valuable inputs, knowledge, and research work, as Adi Patel sir just mentioned. They have given us a new vision and a new direction to look at. I'm thankful to our chairman, CVM, Engineer Bhigubai B. Patel, and the entire CVM team. Special thanks to Principal BBIT, Dr. K. M. Makwana sir, to have stood behind us right from the beginning for the successful completion of this FTP. He was pillar of strength for the organizing committee. Dr. Makwana sir was really a guiding force, as Anurag Emmanuel mentioned just a few minutes back. Thanks a lot to young and dynamic personality, Dr. Adi Patel, coordinator of this FDP on buried energy for conservation and energy management. He has really worked hard day and night, inviting distinguished personalities from all over India. Thanks to Atal Academy to have provided this platform. We are indebted to them. Our gathering online here was possible only because of Atal Academy. Thanks to Chief Guest PK Desai sir, President ISTE New Delhi, who enlightened us with his motivating speech about energy scenario. PK Desai sir mentioned that saying good to good is a good quality. You need a big heart for this quality. Sir, we are happy as we were in company of good speakers. Thanks to all the participants who are with us all these 5 days. We really appreciate your presence in all sessions. We appreciate your interactions in form of questions asked to the speakers. Due to some glitches, technical glitches I should say, we had a little bit of discontinuity. We are sorry for that, since we didn't have any control on these interruptions and internet connectivity. But thanks to you all for displaying patience and cooperation. It was really an august gathering we had. On behalf of organizing team and BBIT family, I wish you all good luck on this auspicious and festival day of Ganesh Chaturthi and Samvatsari. Thanks are also due to help we received from many people who have helped us directly or indirectly to make the grand success of this FDP. Thank you all once again.
Thank you, Joseph Soni sir. With this, we conclude. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Participants, there are certain instructions that need to be given. Instruction 1 is that please go on to your Atal portal and fill in the feedback form, right? That is presented in the Atal portal, right? It is one of the mandatory requirements for you to complete the training program. Point number 2, that is the test, right? We have already uploaded the test in the group, right? And many of you must have finished it also, but for those who have not completed or submitted it yet, there is time till tomorrow morning 10 o'clock. So I request all of you, those who have not completed the test, to submit your test, right? It is also one of the mandatory conditions, right, to be fulfilled for successfully completing this training program, right? The participants can download their training certificate once they fulfill all these requirements from Atal portal itself. I think it will be uploaded in coming week or in next few days once we submit everything from our side. So thank you once again.
Thank you all the participants and organizing team member. Thank you all. Please.